Hello, how's it going guys? Nate here, and today I want to discuss Fallout 4's Nukaworld DLC and some of the improvements and changes and just additions into this DLC that I think Bethesda should strive to add in. Nukaworld is going to be Fallout 4's last expansion, so it's really Bethesda's final opportunity to make any sort of significant improvements or changes or additions, and I want to discuss what I think Bethesda should do with that. So, without further ado, let's do further. What's arguably my biggest criticism with Fallout 4, and the one I believe Nukaworld is going to have to do its best to address, is Fallout 4's de-evolution of dialogue. Essentially what I mean by this is, it breaks the Fallout 4, I guess you can say, tone that they try and set of a player-driven narrative, For instance, in Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, when presented with a quest, you could respond in a number of options. You could say yes, you could say no, you could say, hey, can I give you caps just to get this over with? You could lie to them, try and manipulate them, use your special skill points to try and just change the direction of the conversation or just get them to complete the quest for you. Whereas in Fallout 4, you have one of four options. Yes, sarcastic yes, no, but really yes, or yes, but please give me a few caps first. And that really rubbed me the wrong way personally. I didn't like that. And then, of course, this issue persists when just generally talking to people in general, Oftentimes, when you responded sarcastically, you hear the exact same sound clip as when you responded sympathetically, whereas in New Vegas and Fallout 3, they did it a lot differently and a lot better. You get a unique response for most of the dialogue options you chose. And I thought that was really interesting, whereas in Fallout 4, oftentimes it seemed as though just acting sarcastically and acting sympathetically really resulted in the same thing, and I disliked that. Now, I think Far Harbor did a good job at addressing this to an extent. They added a lot more dialogue choices, they were a lot more prevalent, there was just a lot more in general, and I think if Nukaworld can continue that trend, it'll be a much better DLC because of it. Another department of Fallout 4 that I think was significantly lacking but could be improved upon by Nukaworld is companions. In Fallout 4, you only get the opportunity to choose about 15 different companions, including the ones offered in DLC. This number is absolutely dwarfed by Bethesda's most recent other title, Skyrim, which offered upwards of 40. So obviously there's some significant discontinuity here that I think Nukaworld needs to do its best to address, by adding in a few more companions. Now, I also do understand that Nukaworld has a bit of a raider theme to it, so it's possible these new companions we get could be a bit more morally dubious or something like that. Also, another thing that I think I might accept would be kind of like Automatron, where you're able to generate more companions consistently, just this time instead of building them and constructing them from a workshop, maybe you can hire them as like mercenaries or something. I also aware that there's a bit of a theme here where you're able to lead bands of raiders, so I do think there is a significant possibility that Bethesda might be gunning to address this huge numerical discontinuity somehow. Now, in fairness, to try and justify this low number that Fallout 4 has, I suppose it could be suggested that Fallout 4's companions are a bit more, I guess you could say, in-depth than the ones offered by previous Bethesda titles. Fallout 4's companions have custom quests you can fulfill. You need to try and form a stronger bond with your companions. You can get romantically involved with all of your companions. And to a lesser extent, you can do some of this with certain companions from previous Bethesda titles, but you can do all of this with all of the ones that Fallout 4 has to offer. So that does kind of explain this numerical difference, but I still do think there should be quite a few more, and I think Nukaworld definitely needs to do its best to add in a few more companions. Alright, so I understand this next request that I'm going to be advocating for might be a little bit more trivial, but you know what? I don't care. We're in a damn amusement park. We need a house of horrors. A haunted house is what I'm advocating for here. Most Bethesda games have always included some sort of horror-based quest, and I don't want Fallout 4 to be the exception. I remember Fallout 3 had this quest line, or not even a quest line, it was just one or two quests in which you had to kill a couple of ghouls in a particularly scary locale. It was very dark and dim lit, and there was a couple jump scares here and there. And then Skyrim had something similar where you were locked in a house in the Daedra in Morthal, and I'd like Fallout 4 to include something like that too, in terms of maybe a haunted house in Nukaworld. I think since Nukaworld's in a theme park, it's a carnival sort of aspect, it's definitely the perfect locale to include one, and it would definitely pique my interest and give me something to look forward to. I always get a bit more excited when I play through these quest lines, and they're definitely a bit more immersive. I like to turn my lights off when I go through them, and I'd like a quest like that to be included in Nukaworld. Now, I do understand that Fallout 4 did feature the Museum of Witchcraft quest, which was a bit of their own little horror quest sort of thing that you had to go through, but honestly, that was a bit underwhelming for me. I'd like Bethesda to take another shot at it, I was very disappointed at the ending when it was just a death call, give me some ghoul clowns, give me something that really terrifies me, not just a reveal at something as simple as that. So I hope Bethesda takes another shot with one of these horror-based quests, especially with the locale. I feel like they'd really be missing an opportunity here if they didn't. And to finally conclude my opinions on what I think this DLC needs to be as best as possible, would be for Bethesda to follow through on their promise in this DLC Steam description, which allows us to quote-unquote lead lethal gangs of raiders and use them to conquer settlements. Now, I'm not exactly sure what Bethesda means by this, but in my own interpretation, I think this is kind of associated with allowing us to hire a pack of raiders and just use them to capture and conquer a settlement and then allow us to build there, you know? Rather than doing the generic Minutemen questline of, okay, I'll go rescue your daughter for the umpteenth time. No. I want to go over there and make those settlers give me their settlement. I think that'd definitely be cool. I think it'd definitely give me quite a few hours of playtime, and maybe it can go the other way around. Maybe your settlements could be captured by raiders or mutants or whatever, and then that'll force you to kind of look at it a bit more strategically. Maybe you'll have increased incentive to arm your settlers and build up better defenses, knowing that if you get raided, maybe not just all your settlers and crops will be taken, but you could actually lose control of that settlement, and you'd have to take it back eventually. I don't know, I just think this would be a really interesting dynamic for Bethesda to follow through on if they choose to do so. It does seem like a rather, definitely a high order for them to take on, but if they're up to the challenge, I think it could be pretty amazing, and I'm definitely excited to see what they do here. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up right here. Let me know your thoughts of what you think about this. This is Bethesda's really last shot to make change and go out with a bang. However, they've got a lot of opportunity here to do it if they play their cards right. So let me know in the comment section down below. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Like if you liked, dislike if you disliked, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.